Hey everyone, I'm here. I misplaced the link.
Okay, since we're all here, it's 19:04, 7:04 p.m. on the 24th May 2021. I'll call this meeting to order. Marcy, would you please read the statement?
Yes, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the public and the press on January 6, 2021, and on April 8, 2021, and was posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-7.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Vice President Auberger.
Here.
Councilmember Chili. Sorry.
Here, sorry.
That's all right. Councilmember Pitsker.
He's here. I see him. You're on mute, Andrew.
Me too. Here.
Councilmember Weller.
Here.
Council President Shortway.
Present. Please rise. Let's salute the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, next we'll go to public comments for current agenda items only, limited to 3 minutes per person. I ask any of the public wishing to speak, please state your name and where you reside. So may I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion to open the floor to the public.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 See no one in opposition? No one's abstaining? The floor is now open.
I did receive an email that I'll read regarding Ordinance 2112, new ambulance. Councilman, Council President, Mayor, and attendees, on behalf of the Glenwood Pochuck Volunteer Ambulance Corps and its members, we once again can't thank the council enough for the consideration of the new ambulance. The new ambulance will be replacing one that has been in service for 18 years. With the council approval, the new ambulance will be 100% identical to the one purchased last year, which has already been in rotation, received its first preventative maintenance by our township DPW, and has responded to about 35% of our total EMS calls. Thanks to council and all our supporters, the added equipment has definitely made an impact on the service we provide and will continue to provide. Just like last year, Glenwood EMS will be swapping all our equipment into the new ambulance to not accrue additional cost to the township. Once more, on behalf of the entire membership of Glenwood Pochuck Volunteer Ambulance Corps, we thank each and every one of you for your continued support. Thank you, Kevin Duffy, Chief Operations Officer.
And thank Kevin for that email. Danelle, I know you have a presentation and we are in public comments. If it's okay with the rest of the council, perhaps Danelle could do her presentation and that might generate some other comments from the public.
I agree.
Okay.
Do we need a motion just to do this if we're in public comments, Josh? Since
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Danelle, then, do you want to do your presentation?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Share my screen. Okay, can we all see that?
Yes.
Yes. All right, great. Okay, so I'm just going to go through a little bit of the bond ordinance from the comments at the last meeting. I thought it might be a good idea to just give it an easy breakdown. I know the bond ordinance can be a little bit lengthy, a lot of legal jargon in there. Sorry, Josh. So we will go over a little bit in this short presentation. So this is obviously the 2021 bond ordinance for Vernon. So the summary of it, if anyone's read it, it's 4.015 million in capital projects. The public can obviously read that easily, but when you do the total in cash down payments, you'll see that we're making just over 22% cash down on that total amount. So that means that 3.13 million is to be paid over what we've anticipated over the next 10 years. So that's the actual debt on the bond ordinance. And this ordinance obviously includes things like the road improvement program for 2021, EMS and fire, park improvements, township property improvements, and the bike pump track and trail improvements. Here's just a simple breakout over the percentages in this pie chart. I'm going to go through each one individually, starting with the highest and then working down to the lowest. I did separate out the trail and pump track improvements because they might be a little bit confusing in the bond ordinance. So the first one up is our 2021 road improvement program. Our main roads, we've budgeted 700,000. We're also budgeting 200 for the secondary roads and guide rail and drainage projects and 50,000. We are looking at Barrett and Glenwood Mountain roads. I believe Glenwood Mountain is doing partial paving, not the whole thing this year. We did receive just over $181,000 in grants. So you can see the breakout on our down payment of that versus the debt that we're taking out. So the total debt is just over 21% on this ordinance. The next group of items is the EMS and fire departments. So as you just read the letter from Kevin Duffy, who's in charge at Glenwood Pochuck, we are getting a new ambulance this year that's in the bond ordinance. Our current ambulance is over 18 years old. It was from 2003, so we are replacing one of those. We do also have a replacement for a fire department tanker for McAfee Firehouse that's over 25 years old. Obviously, in this bond ordinance too, we do have the SCBA packs and turnout gear. We did put that on a rotating schedule, so we're no longer putting in over 100,000 for those. It's just a little bit less than that, so that we make sure that our firefighters are obviously equipped well. We do have rescue equipment for fire as well as a rescue UTV. And the cash down payments on that and the breakout for the debt you can see, and the total debt on the ordinance for these projects is 20%. Next, we have our park improvements. So we have improvements at both Maple Grange Park and Veterans Memorial Park. So we are replacing the Maple Grange football field. It's over 12 years old. We are doing that for the purpose of making sure we don't have to close down the fields in the future. We're also doing the lighting at the snack bar field at Veterans Memorial Park. It's one of our first phase of the lighting replacement at that park, so we're upgrading the one at snack bar field. We're also installing our ADA compliant pathway, and you can see the breakout there. We're at about 18% for the total debt taken out in this ordinance. Next is our group of DPW equipment and vehicles. Replacement of existing radios, build out of newly purchased vehicles, and a new jib crane are parts of our capital projects at the Department of Public Works. We're also replacing a 25-year-old lift in the garage, an 18-year-old skid steer, and an older single axle truck, which we use for plowing, as well as other things. You can see the breakout here is 13% of our total debt on this ordinance. Next is our township property improvements. So improvements to township properties include the engineering, design, and construction of a new fueling station at the Department of Public Works. Currently, we rely on an outside vendor for our fueling needs. We're also replacing garage doors at the DPW, upgrading our existing alarm system, and installing ADA compliant doorways at our front entrance. You can see the breakout there. This is about 10% of our total debt in the ordinance. So the next is our bike and pump track. The town center park is broken up into two phases. The trail and bike pump track is our recreational improvements phase. The recreational improvements phase addresses the community desire for the Vernon Town Center Park that consists of a bicycle path and walking trail, as well as a bicycle pump track, complete with an ADA compliant multi-purpose trail loop. And you can kind of see the rendering there. The total recreational improvements total $415,000. It's funded through the approved referendum funding from 2018 for open space funds. So contributions from the Capital Improvement Fund and debt, in addition to that large amount from the open space funding, will get us the total amount needed beyond that 291. So as you can see, we're taking out about $117,000 in debt on this ordinance. It's only 4% of the total debt on the ordinance. The other phases of the Vernon Town Center Park is the access improvements phase. This addresses the necessity for safe access routes of ingress and egress from the Town Center Park. Black Creek Drive roadway improvements, a proposed access roadway from Omega Drive, and parking locations for visitors total $485,000. The total percentage of debt, as you can see on this, is 14% of the total ordinance. Here you can see the breakdown of each project, the total project costs, and the amount of the project being paid for over time. These projects have an estimated useful life of over 11.5 years, which means the community will receive the benefits of these projects over that time period or longer. Therefore, the township has chosen to issue the bond ordinance so the cost is spread over the useful lives of these projects. In total, the average Vernon taxpayer will end up paying around $31 a year for these items. That's not an increase on the average home, but rather an existing breakout of municipal taxes that pay down on our debt. Just to be clear about debt, the township has seen significant reductions in debt percentage from 2017 onward. Even with the reduced average valuation of the township at $2.5 billion in comparison to 2011 when it was valued at over $3 billion, the township's commitment in the past few years to decreasing debt while also addressing key infrastructure needs through smart debt issuance has resulted in a decreased debt load. Even with this $3 million ordinance, the township will see a debt reduction at the end of the year. The township is also permanently financing existing debt this year since we're still at record low interest rates, and also increasing our use of cash through our increasing capital improvement fund and capital reserves. This year, the township increased our capital improvement fund and reserves to $685,000, which is cash capital and pays down for large down payments on our debt as well as items with lower useful lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Danelle.
Danelle, that was great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Danelle.
Nice job.
Marcy, are there any other?
Yeah, I'm just gonna put my
Members of-
timer on. Give me one
Okay.
second. Okay, I have Peg DeStassi. Ms. DeStassi?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Can you hear me? Hello, everybody. I just had a couple questions. Thank you, Danielle, for that good presentation. It does break it down, but there's a couple things that I would like to question. I thought the $297,000 from the open space fund was going to be used to buy the Baldwin property. So, and I don't see the Baldwin property, Lee, listed here under the acquisition for the trails and so that seems to be a missing link. And also, although it is, you're claiming only 12% that's going to be for the expense for the trails, you're forgetting to add in that we would not have to spend the $400,000+ to put in access roads and repave Baldwin if the trails weren't there. So that has to come into account as well. That's an expense that will be incurring because you're putting the trails there. So if you could at some point answer where's the money for the Baldwin trails coming from, I would greatly appreciate that. If, in my estimation, that now comes to over $1 million between the roads, the trail costs, and the Baldwin property. If you add that all up, it comes to the $1 million. So if you could clarify that, I would greatly like the information. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
I see no other hands up, Council President. Oh, I'm sorry. I do now. Hold on one second. Ms. Palladini?
Sorry, I just want to add to what Peg said. I'm actually responding to Peg because I know nobody will respond to her question. Peg, the money for the Baldwin property, I guess that's funny, John, but the money from the Baldwin property will come from the actual open space tax itself. So you are correct, not the percentage for the bicycle pump track. So you are correct to say that the whole project will be in excess of $1 million or darn close to $1 million. That's all. I just wanted to respond to Peg. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now I see no other hands.
Therefore, may I have a motion to close the floor to the public?
Motion to close the floor to public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone in opposition? Anybody abstaining? Seeing none, the floor is now closed. Let's move on. Let's go to number 6, minutes. I'd just like to make, before I call for a motion to adopt the minutes of May 10th, 2021, Marcy, I'd like just to include that I made a point of order with Walter Marsico speaking a second time.
Yes.
So if you just can include that into the minutes, I appreciate it.
Yes. I made that correction already.
Thank you.
On the minutes.
Does anybody else have any other concerns, issues, questions concerning the minutes?
Motion to accept the minutes.
Second that.
Roll call, please.
Sure. Vice President Auerberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Chili,
Yes.
Councilmember Pitsker,
Yes.
Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Council President Shortway.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, number 7 on your agenda is resolutions. Resolution 21-132, a resolution authorizing the implementation of an accident and health policy for township volunteers. This resolution authorizes an accident and health policy for a volunteer, so they're covered. May I have a motion to approve resolution 21-132?
Discussion.
Second.
Go ahead.
Is this include for the volunteer fire and ambulance, or is this for the other volunteers, such as when the beautification is out doing a function?
Chuck, you're muted.
Yes, sorry about that. Councilman, this is separate.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other points, interest, concerns, questions? Okay, can I have a motion to approve? the resolution?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Auerberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Chili,
Yes.
Councilmember Pitsker,
Yes.
Councilmember Weller.
Yes.
Council President Shortway.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Resolution 21-133, resolution for the Township of Vernon authorizing the execution of an agreement for municipal services between the Township of Vernon and Black Creek Sanctuary Condo Association. This resolution authorizes the execution of such an agreement. May I have a motion to approve resolution 21-133?
Motion to approve resolution 21-133.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Auerberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Chili,
Yes.
Councilmember Pitsker,
Yes.
Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Council President Shortway.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Resolution authorizing, that'll be resolution 21-134, resolution authorizing fireworks to be displayed on July 3rd, 2021 within the Township of Vernon. This resolution authorized a fireworks display. May I have a motion to approve resolution 21-134?
Motion to approve resolution 21-134.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Auerberger,
Same.
Councilmember Chili,
Yes.
Councilmember Pitsker,
Yes.
Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Council President Shortway.
Yes, and if, John, I just want to clarify you're abstaining because you're a member of the Vernon Volunteer Fire Department. This is also a fundraiser for that organization, correct?
Well, the fireworks are going to be happening and we might be standing by down there, so I'm just abstaining.
Okay. But I want on the record, you're part of the volunteer
Yes.
fire department that would be involved in this. Okay. Thank you. Resolution 21-135, resolution creating the Vernon Heritage Advisory Committee. This resolution creates a Heritage Advisory Committee. May I have a motion to approve resolution 21-135?
Quick discussion.
Sure,
First of all,
go
is
ahead.
this going to report to the mayor, I assume? Will this advisory committee report to the mayor?
I think it will report. I see the mayor is speaking, but I can't hear him. My understanding is it will report to either land use board, the mayor, or the council, whoever desires to be advised by that committee.
Okay. I think that may be needed to be put on here, or that's going to be put on the charter when it's written.
Well, we would have the resolution, and again, it would be based on an annual. If you want a motion to postpone it for a vote and make that change with Josh, I'm not opposed to that, if that's what you desire.
What does everybody else think? I mean, normally these committees report to the mayor, I am assuming that, but it's not here in black and white.
I think it should be on there.
I think so.
Yeah, it should probably be on there.
Tony, your opinion?
Yeah, I think it should be on here as well.
Josh, could we include that in the resolution at this time, or do we need to postpone it and move it to a vote? Is that a substantial change in the resolution?
I mean, it's not an ordinance where you'd have to do a first or a second reading. My recommendation, though, would be to just revise the resolution, create a new text, and have it voted on at the next meeting.
So Andy, you want to make a motion to postpone this vote till the next meeting?
I'm motioning to postpone it to the next meeting, and this way you can get the right wording on it. Yeah.
Is
Second.
there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please, Marcy.
Vice President Auerberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Chili,
Yes.
Councilmember Pitsker,
Yes.
Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Council President Shortway.
Yes.
Motion carries to carry this to the next meeting.
Okay, the next several resolutions I'm going to read all at once, and we can vote at once because it's pretty much the same thing. Resolution 21-136, refund overpayment block 527, lot 371, legal title insurance agency, Inc. This resolution and the next four resolutions will authorize refund overpayments. Resolution 21-137, refund overpayment, block 525, lot 4, American Home Title Agency. Resolution 21-138, refund overpayment, block lot 55, and Absolute Escrow Settlement Company Limited. Resolution 21-139, refund overpayment, various lots and blocks for Logic. Resolution 21-140, refund overpayment, various lots and blocks for CoreLogic. May I have a motion to approve resolution 21-136, 21-137, 21-138, 21-139, and 21-140?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. And let's take a roll call, Marcy.
Or Vice President Auerberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Chili,
Yes.
Councilmember Pitsker,
Yes.
Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Council President Shortway.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving on to resolution 21-141, approving a charitable solicitor's permit, Pochuck Valley Fire Department, Inc. This resolution approves a charitable solicitor's permit for that volunteer fire department. May I have a motion to approve resolution 21-141?
Motion to approve resolution 21-141.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Auerberger,
Abstain.
Councilmember Chili,
Yes.
Councilmember Pitsker,
Yes.
Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Council President Shortway.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Mr. Council President,
Yes, sir.
I guess you can hear me. I've been kind of like on mute here. I wanted to say, as it relates to Resolution 21-135, that this makes good on the council's and the mayor's commitment to form a heritage committee for those individuals who have come forward and simply said they wanted to be able to participate, but they were glad that there was no longer what they considered to be the political involvement. But this makes good on our commitment to do that. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Mayor. Moving on to Resolution 21-142, authorizing approval of Sussex County contribution to the Vernon and Glenwood Pochuck ambulance squads. This resolution authorizes approval of contributions to the ambulance squads. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 21-142?
Motion to approve Resolution 21-142.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Vice President Auberger. I'm sorry, John, I didn't hear you.
Same.
Councilmember Chili,
yes.
Councilmember Pittsger,
Yes.
Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Council President Shortway.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Number 8 on your agendas, introduction, first reading of proposed ordinance, Ordinance 21-13, ordinance of the Township of Vernon, County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, to amend and supplement Chapter 5, Article 12, Department of Public Safety, and to repeal and replace Chapter 52 of the Municipal Code of the Township of Vernon Fire Department to establish a division of fire suppression. This ordinance amends and supplements the Township Code. May I have a motion to introduce Ordinance 21-13?
Question?
What was that discussion, did I hear?
Yes.
Okay, John.
The only thing, I'm just wanting to bring this up. I saw in this ordinance that to obey the bylaws of the Division of Fire Suppression. Are those bylaws going to be handed out to all individuals of the fire department beforehand? The same as to obey the Vernon Township personnel policy. Same in that regard. Is that going to be handed out to every individual before this next reading? Is that in the process? Has it been done?
Nothing has been done as of yet. We were waiting. Council has a copy of the proposed new handbook, but as far as that and the other document you stated, we can put that together for them because this ordinance will be 20 days beyond the next meeting. So we will have time to put that information out there. If you would like,
it should be done if you're changing an ordinance and having new rules. It's nice to know what the rule book is.
no, I understand that. And the fact of the matter is that we are under the current handbook that we've had for the last approximately, I think it's 10 years or a little bit more, up until the time that we change and accept the new one. So we have to utilize that for now.
I can say as a member of the fire department, I've never received that personnel policy handbook ever, so that's why I'm asking now.
Right, because it wasn't required by ordinance, which is what's taking place here.
Bringing it up.
Exactly.
Does anybody have anything else to add?
So they will have a copy of the book before we approve this at the next meeting?
Yeah, I can make sure that it's distributed, whether it's paper or electronically, either way.
And John, I will make sure that in the future that they do get a copy, all of the individuals gets a copy of that document. We'll make it kind of an annual requirement because you'll have new people coming in and out. But we'll make sure that happens. Understand what you're saying, and you have my commitment, at least for the next 3 years, it will be done.
Very good. Thank you.
Just one other point of order with regard to the new proposed handbook. One of the things that we're required to do for all full-time paid employees as well as volunteers is to have them sign for receipt of it, that they have received it and that they will read it. So that's something that we will be doing when the next set comes out. But in the meantime, we can put together the current set that we're operating under.
Anything else?
I guess Chuck, when you say you'll send that all out, all that will be completed and signed off before the second reading of this ordinance then?
I don't know. I can get it out there. I don't know whether it's going to be necessary to do that in that time frame. As I said, after the next meeting, we'll have 20 days before it takes effect. But I can say that we can likely do it by then, because they will be having a meeting, I would think, because they usually meet at least once a month.
Okay.
We'll make every attempt. We'll get it out. We'll make every attempt to have signing come back, but there are some issues with that in terms of timing. There are meetings and what have you.
Any further discussion? Okay, can I have a motion then for ordinance 21-13? This is for introduction.
Motion for ordinance 21-13.
Is there a second?
Sorry, I was muted. I said second.
Thank you, Kelly. Roll call, please.
Vice President Orberger,
Same.
Councilmember Chili,
Yes.
Councilmember Pittsger,
Yes.
Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Council President Shortway.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Number 9 on your agenda, public hearing, second reading of the following ordinance. Ordinance 21-12, bond ordinance appropriating $4,015,000 and authorizing the issuance of $3,130,000 bonds or notes of the township for various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the Township of Vernon in the County of Sussex, New Jersey. This ordinance authorizes the issuance of bonds or notes for various improvement purposes. May I have a motion to open to public hearing for ordinance 21-12?
Motion to open for public hearing?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Anybody in opposition? Anybody abstaining? Seeing none, the floor is open.
She's upstairs. I see no hands up, Council President.
Okay, thank you. Therefore,
Sorry,
Ma'am.
I I just got a hand up. Hold on one
Okay.
second. Walter Mercico? Mr. Mercico, can you unmute?
Should be unmuted.
We can hear you now.
Is this question and answer or just public comment?
Public comment?
Do we ever get to do a question and answer?
If someone desires to answer the question, the administration,
You
by all means, they
feel like
they can.
answering it or choose not to answer it? That's how it works?
Well, we
Mr.
want to hear,
Walter.
we want to hear your opinion
I have a lot to say, more than time will allow.
by this word regarding this ordinance.
No, not this ordinance.
Okay, this is open only for public comments concerning ordinance 21-12. At the end of the meeting, there'll be public comments
I look forward
for
to
other
it.
issues.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Marcico. Marcy, is there anyone wishing to discuss this ordinance?
I don't see any hands. Let's see.
Therefore, may I have a motion to close the public comment?
Motion to close the public comment.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone in opposition? Anybody? Okay, nope, there is no one. Floor is closed. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 21-?
Motion to adopt ordinance 21-12.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Orberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Chili,
Yes.
Councilmember Pittsger,
Yes.
Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Council President Shortway.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving to number 10, public comment limited to 3 minutes on any topic. Please note, public comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Please state your name and residency for the record. May I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion to open the floor to the public.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Anyone in opposition? Anybody abstaining? Seeing none, the floor is now open. Mr. Marsico will probably be first on the list.
Doesn't look like he's there anymore, is he? Oh, yeah, there he is.
Here he is. Mr. Marsico?
Thank you. Why would I be first on the list, Mr. Shortway?
Marsico, you're just asked to speak, and I was asking you to hold a public comment, so why wouldn't I go to you first?
Well, thank you, Mr. Shortway. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Walter Marsico, resident of Vernon Township, 40 years, which leads me to a question. I don't know if he's going to answer it. But Mr. Volker, how long have you lived in Vernon?
Sorry, Mr. Marsico, this is for public comments only. This is
That's
not
a comment.
Q&A.
Population on Earth. They maintain their culture and
No, I'm done.
Okay, Mr. Volker, how about another question? At any point, are you going to supervise your employees, in particular, Mr. Westenberger? Since the mayor, Mr. Shortway, and everyone else doesn't return emails, this is the only source I have to get through to you people. So you can choose to hide behind a computer screen or any other way that you do and not answer these questions. But I'm not going away. Especially you, Mr. Mayor. It's shameful the way you act, that you don't return emails as a public figure. Do you want to answer, comment on anything now? What's going on with the township? What Mr. Volker's doing? What Mr. Westenberger's doing? He's breaking his own UCC code. He tells me to read the book. I read all 150 pages. You should probably tell him to start reading it. You should probably start answering emails and phone calls. Mr. Volker, what's your vested interest in Vernon? You don't even live here. You have no vested interest in this township. What you're allowing Mr. Westenberger to do is wrong and illegal. Do you have comment for that? Does anyone have comments? Because you all hide. You all hide. I'm right here. Answer something. Let's hear it. Let's hear what you're doing to residents in this township. Because you think I'm going to go away? You're wrong. You're all wrong. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Shortway, Mr. Volker, the three main players in this, along with Mr. Westenberger. How about, let's talk about the township attorney. Send him emails, no responses. You could take care of it at the Board of Appeals hearing. Like your life problems are going to be handled at the Board of Appeals meeting. Mr. Volker, you want to recall a phone conversation we had not too long ago? Mr. Marsico, why are you hiding? Why don't you go to the meeting? Well, I got a good question for you right now. Why are you avoiding the meeting? What happened? What's wrong? Why aren't you going to the meeting? Why'd you postpone? That was the conversation you had with me on the phone. I'm a resident. I've been here 40 years. I haven't done a thing wrong. And the way you people are acting is disgusting. I didn't think anybody was going to have anything to say. Mr. Shortway, nothing?
No comment.
I didn't think so. Mr. Volker, no comment? I didn't think so. Mr. Mayor, don't you oversee the town? You guys do this to people here. Let's answer the questions. Be the tough guys you are behind a computer screen. Because I'm not going to allow what you are doing. I promise you, you will not get away with it. I want everyone to hear it. Did you find out who took the pictures in the personal vehicle at night of the interior of my residence? Mr. Mayor, did you find out? Because I know my neighbors are pretty worried and disgusted with the administration. Mr. Volker, did you find out? Do you realize there's somebody going around in a personal vehicle taking pictures of the interior of houses? I can't hear you. Mr. Shortway, are you aware?
Mr. Marsico, I'm sorry, your time is just about up.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have Peg DeStassi.
Mr. Stassi, floor is yours.
Peg DeStassi, Vernon resident. I just wanted to summarize what I had said earlier. If I add up all the figures, you're taking so far 600,000 out of the open space fund, 290 something thousand that was authorized a couple of years ago, and another 300,000 to purchase the Baldwin property, which now leaves about 300 plus thousand left in our open space fund. So that's taxpayer money that is going towards the trail. Then you're now paying for the roads to be repaved, for a new road to be put in, for the pump track itself. So if you add all these figures up, it comes to about 1.2 million for a trail that we were told no taxpayer money would be used repeatedly by Mayor then Shortway. Thank you. That ends my comment.
Thank you.
I do have a chat here from Mr. Paul Weber of Glenwood. Said the farmer's market was a success and it was nice to see the mayor and his wonderful wife.
Thank you, Mr. Weber.
I don't see any other hands up.
Okay, therefore, can I have a motion to close the floor to the public?
Motion to close the,
Oh, sorry, Andy.
no, go ahead, Kelly.
Motion to close the floor to public comment.
Second it.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Anybody abstaining? Seeing none, the floor is now closed to the public. Let's move on to number 11 on the agenda, and that will be for the mayor's report. Mayor Burrell, the floor is yours.
Mr. Council President and other council members, my report tonight will consist of 3 topics. Topic number 1 will be another appointment to a municipal committee. Topic number 2 will be an update on a matter that has been hanging over our town's head for at least the past 3 years. And topic number 3 will be the acknowledgement of what has become a signature town event, which signals Vernon's kickoff of a warm weather season. Topic number 1. Because of the stand that the mayor and council took in October of last year in support of our volunteers, we have seen a resurgence in the individual's desire and willingness to serve on our volunteer boards, our committees, and our commissions. And on tonight, it's my pleasure and my honor to appoint a new volunteer who has requested to serve on one of our most impactful and appreciated committees, the Beautification Committee. I appoint Mrs. Kristen Hess, a certified mortgage advisor and a real estate agent. Mrs. Hess will join a team that has received an overwhelming amount of appreciation and praise from Vernon volunteers, from Vernon businesses, as well as other businesses to our town. Welcome, Mrs. Hess. Topic number 2. You know, all of my education, all of my training and experiences tell me that the best predictor of an individual's future performance is that individual's past behavior. And in spite of the fact that this statement has been repeatedly proven to be true throughout the decades, the teachings of my faith, plus some rare experiences, have demonstrated to me that when the desire is strong and the will is determined, people can change. It was this thought process that gave me hope that Mr. Joe Wallace and his Facebook collaborators would have a change of heart and mind, that they would do the civically responsible thing and follow the town's example as demonstrated by our quick, thorough, and complete cleanup of the decades-old debris field on a piece of town property to which Mr. Wallace and his Facebook collaborators so eagerly and joyfully directed the DEP. It was my hope that Mr. Wallace and his Facebook collaborators would follow the town's example and focus their time and efforts on cleaning up the illegal waste mountain that Mr. Wallace has created in the Silver Spruce Drive area of our town. However, unfortunately, it has not been the case. And so on tonight, I provide you 4 brief points as a way of updating you as to the town's efforts to get this illegal waste mountain cleaned up. Point number 1, the state of New Jersey, specifically the Department of Environmental Protection, has filed a suit against Mr. Wallace, compelling him to not only cease the illegal dumping on his property, but also requiring him to clean up the illegal waste mountain that he created. The Department of Environmental Protection is managing this case through the Office of the Attorney General. And because the Attorney General's office is the legal authority that is currently in control of the Wallace case, this dictates the extent and the speed at which Vernon Township can make forward movement on getting this illegal waste mountain cleaned up. Point number 2, your governing body team, through the mayor's office, is in frequent contact with the specific Deputy Attorney General who is in charge of this case. Mr. Wallace's case, like so many other cases, have been repeatedly postponed because of COVID-19 restrictions. The Deputy Attorney General handling this case recently advised that the Attorney General's office has been and continues to be actively involved in searching for Mr. Wallace's funds that can be used for this illegal waste mountain cleanup. The Deputy Attorney General also recently informed us that as part of their efforts to locate the large sums of funds that it is assumed that Mr. Wallace made from his illegal dumping operation, his office was scheduled to question a relative of Mr. Wallace in a legal setting on April the 20th. However, her legal counsel requested and received a last-minute delay. In response, the Attorney General's office has filed a motion with the court to compel this relative to appear for this legal questioning without additional delay. Point 3, also as part of the process of obtaining funds that can be used for the cleanup of this illegal waste mountain, the Honorable James Rothschild, the retired Superior Court judge who has been appointed receiver of Mr. Wallace's estate, has sold some of Wallace's assets. These sold assets are to be collected at Mr. Wallace's property between May the 24th and May the 28th. The town, however, has not yet been advised as to the specific amount of funds that have been raised through Judge Rothschild's efforts. And point number 4, as a way of doing everything that we can to prevent our town's local taxpayers from having to foot any portion of the bill to clean up Mr. Wallace's waste mountain and to heal the civic black eye that Mr. Wallace has given our town, the mayor and council have been in active pursuit of any state and or federal funds that we could possibly obtain for this cleanup purpose. The mayor and council will continue to keep close tabs on this Wallace matter, and we will do everything we can to keep you appropriately informed. This leads me to topic number 3. For those of you who are able to visit our Farmers Market's 2021 grand opening this past Saturday, you already know that the Vernon Farmers Market is not only back, but it's back bigger than ever. The Vernon Farmers Market is but one testament to the unique value that volunteers bring to our town. It's my understanding that the Vernon Farmers Market was started 3 years ago by municipal volunteers, Ms. Tony Chili. That was before she became a council member. Thank you, Tony. And Mrs. Cheryl Shortway. Thank you, Sherry. I am told that they also had the strong support of another group of volunteers, the volunteers on the Greenway Action Advisory Committee. Our farmers markets have now developed into bi-weekly events that are highly anticipated by many in our town and in the surrounding communities. Last year's farmers market saw visits by a steady stream of both longtime and new residents, plus frequent visitors by a meaningful number of out-of-town visitors who often stopped by our farmers market before or after walking a portion of the Appalachian Trail. The municipal coordinator of our farmers markets, our town's director of recreation and community development, Mrs. Michelle Downtain, tells me that our farmers market could not be possible, nor could they be successful without the host of dedicated municipal volunteers who donate their time and effort for the town that they love so much. You know, as I walked around Saturday's farmers market and greeted the vendors and the visitors and attendants, all the while enjoying a beautiful warm spring day in Vernon Township, I couldn't help but think about the fact that there is something that's mentally and emotionally healing for us human beings in the repeated refrains of nature. And that is the assurance that the warmth of spring and summer will always come, even after a hard, cold winter. Our next farmers market will be hosted on Saturday, June the 12th, from 9 to 1 p.m. If your schedule permits, please join us. Mr. Council President and other council members, that ends my report for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So great that the farmers market's back. Unfortunately, I had to work, so I couldn't visit it this weekend, but I anticipate in the near future I'll be there, and I can't wait.
I told Michelle, I think we outdone ourselves this Saturday. I have never seen it so big and so many people. It was just literally awesome. It was literally awesome. We didn't have places for people to park cars or for people to put up their tent and stand. You know, Andy, I was told by my wife earlier before I came that you had come by to visit. But it was just literally awesome.
Thank you. And thank you to all the volunteers and Tony, you know, for helping start this thing. You and Sherry have done a lot of time. And then you had Kelly coming in. And then when we got the recreation involved, you all have done a really great job. And it's a really big plus for Vernon. So thank you. Council comments. Vice President, John, would you like to start?
Glad to see you here for the meeting.
Yes, well, thank you.
I'll start with that. The mayor and I had reached out to the VFW through the rec board and to see if there was any possible way we could get the parade, whatever they needed to help. I think with the state opening up so late, there was no time to get permits for 94 and whatnot, but I just want to make the public aware that they will be hosting a Memorial Day service at Memorial Park on the Vernon Crossing Road at 11 a.m. on Monday. And I just hope a lot of people are out there to support it. And there was also kicked around, maybe if the mayor would like, maybe we should reach out to them and see if we can do a 4th of July parade. And being that we didn't have the Memorial Day parade happen. So it's something to look into. That's all I have.
John, they did have a booth at the event Saturday at the farmers market, and I talked to them about that, and they told me that you had been in contact with them. They said it was just a little too late to kind of get the parade going, but I told them that the parade was really kind of important to Vernon. People liked it, and we look forward to doing whatever we could to produce a parade. I know that they are going to have a ceremony. Yes. Down at the Veterans Memorial Park. It'll be a town holiday, but I'll be there, and I invite all other council members, as many can possibly be there. You're not going to be out of town, so please be there to support them.
Thank you. Kelly, would you like to make your comments?
I don't really have anything to comment on tonight. I am sorry I missed the farmers market. I did hear it was a huge success. So I'm looking forward to when I could be there in the coming weeks. That's all.
Thank you, Kelly. Andrew?
Again, as everybody said, I was at the farmer's market as well. My biggest concern is we need more room. We may have to close a road down to fill in the spots there because speaking with Michelle, we now have a waiting list. So it was great to see the first one like that. I hope they all grow and yes, all the people that were showing up, hopefully this starts the progression back into normal society as we see it again. So great there. Danelle, you did a great job with the presentation. I just want to make sure that that's goes along with the meeting minutes and is published with them so that the public can have a copy of that. So nice job putting that together. That's all my comments for tonight.
Thank you, Andrew. Tony?
Yeah, I'm sorry I did miss the farmer's market as well, but I did get honey. Someone bought me honey from there. And Mayor, I love that you go there and support it every time. You're right, it's bigger and better than ever, and I just hope it continues to grow. And I'm sure with everyone in charge now, it will. I just want to thank Craig Williams. I was with him Saturday morning doing a trail cleaning. So I just want to give a thanks to him for organizing that.
Tony, if you can hear us, we're losing you.
Hey, did you have fun at Grandma and Grandpa's? Did you get treats?
And Chuck, are you talking to your dog?
Hot weather, and I think we're going to have a few more because we had some high school volunteers there doing it with us. So that was a good event as well.
Is that it, Tony?
That was it. That's all I had to say.
Well,
yes,
thank you.
I'm sorry.
I guess that leaves me. I want to address a serious matter that I've received phone calls about, people have spoke at council meetings about. And I don't want to let the people think we aren't considering this or addressing it. And it is difficult to find independent, unbiased studies on this. And I've been conducting the research, and it's only as good as the information I can find in the internet, into the East 300 upgrade project compressor issue. And this has been going on for several weeks with myself, reading the newspapers, and like I said, the Google. The East 300 upgrade project will increase natural gas capacity through the existing Tennessee gas pipeline system to meet the market needs of Consolidated Edison Company of New York. Published articles break down into pro-fossil fuel or green economy anti-fracking groups. Some government officials are accused by progressives/liberals of being influenced by monolithic energy companies. The fossil fuel advocates counter their opponents' lack of credible research that backs their allegations. The East 300 upgrade project does cause some serious concerns. Some of the allegations by opponents rely on questionable information. For example, the pipeline that crosses Vernon, opponents claim the pipeline is 65 years old. The initial line may be that old. However, a 30-inch pipeline was installed approximately 10 years ago. We know all the controversy that caused. Independent studies without bias are difficult to find. You have to cut through the opponents and the proponents, what is biased, who's financing these studies, and I've attempted to do this. By no means is this conclusive. By no means am I speaking for the council, but only for myself. Opponents of the project include the Food and Water Watch and the Southwest Pennsylvania Environmental Health Project, and I just use the initials SPE. Their initiatives are funded in part by the Park Foundation. The safety assessment of large shale gas compressor stations in residential neighborhoods in New York State was funded by the Park Foundation. This foundation has been a major supporter of the anti-fracking movement. The foundation also donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to Food and Water Watch and SPA since 2008. SPA conducted a pilot study in Minisink, New York, around a newly built, at that time, shale gas compressor station, and that started in 2014. The results include one of the most important lessons learned by participants in that local weather patterns play a large role in exposure to outdoor pollutants for homes, neighborhood schools, and other community spaces. Acute health systems may result from these exposures. Based on community results and emerging published research, SPE determined the health impacts from shale gas compressor stations were not only plausible, but also likely. Now, you have some studies like that, but then you have the Highlands as you go forward with this. There are federal agencies, DEP, have approved this project and are not in opposition. So anyway, I'll read some of this. The East 300 upgrade project has approvals from the New Jersey Development Environmental Protection and the Highlands Council. A Federal Energy Regulatory Commission environmental review also found that the project, quote, would not constitute a major federal action significantly affecting the quality of the human environment. Highlands Council Executive Director wrote, the efforts to avoid, minimize, and mitigate the resource impacts are sufficient to find that the project is consistent with the goals of the Highlands Act. TGP, Tennessee Gas Pipeline, will conduct a presentation next month to address this project. I believe it's at Sussex Community College. I want to say it's June 22nd, so it's probably in approximately 4 weeks. I submitted the following questions to them in anticipation of the presentation, and a lot of this comes from that study in Minisink. An email went to all the clerks, and it was forwarded to us, and these are the questions that I sent. Will there be periodic reviews of PMs and VOC exposures, especially during blowdown events in times of poor air quality? 2, will venting and blowdowns during times of poor air dilution be prohibited? 3, will there be notifications in advance of large releases, including blowdowns, within a minimum distance of 1.25 miles of the compressor and the notification of accidental releases? Will the compressor station emission levels be available to the public for review? Will periodic health studies to track community health effects of residents within the 1.25 miles of the compressor be conducted? If so, what method will be used? The Rand Corporation developed the SF-36 survey. Is this survey under consideration? My research of the SF-36 is that it is reliable, and it's a self-assessment. Unfortunately, you can't have a real scientific study because you would have to expose humans to potentially hazardous conditions. So this is the best way, it was explained to me, to do such a study. And then will there be particulate matter monitoring stations using spec sensors? And in fairness and reasonableness, I believe the council, before we take any action, pro or con, we need to listen to the Tennessee Gas Pipeline. I think it's just fair and reasonable, again, to hear their side of the story, because this is a very serious matter requiring our due diligence before a determination can be rendered on this project. I know West Milford has not rendered a resolution in opposition at this time. Wantage has. So to the people out there that have reached out, our own environmental commission, I know, Mayor, they've been contacting you, they've contacted me. I think we need to continue to do our research. We are not ignoring these groups and peoples. However, I feel it's very important we do our due diligence, so we make every attempt to get it right, however this council decides, and with the mayor's support, whatever stance he takes also. That being said, I have no further comment. So may I have a motion to adjourn? John?
Wait, before we adjourn, can we have a motion to go into executive session?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Got ahead of myself, Josh. Thank you.
You're
Can I
welcome.
have that motion? Let me read it. Executive session, resolution 21-131, resolution to enter into executive session pending ongoing or anticipated litigation or negotiation contract. SCUMA. May I have a motion to enter executive session?
Council President, we also added the Baldwin property.
Contract negotiations.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for correcting me. And Josh, thank you for reminding me.
Make a motion that we go into executive session.
Second that.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Anyone in opposition? And I see no one abstaining, so let's move on to executive.
Okay, just give me a minute to
Or
clear the public.
On a procedural suggestion here for the public, though, there is no intentions of having any decisions made after this
That's
executive session, correct?
That's correct. There's no notice being given that we may take action afterwards. Therefore,
motion to go back into public?
All right.
Motion to go back into public.
Motion to go back into public?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody in opposition? Seeing no one, we're going back to public.
Are you looking for a motion to adjourn?
Yes, I am.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have that second? Is that Tony's second? And
Kelly,
all-
I think it was.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Anybody opposing? Okay, we're out. Everybody
Good
have a
night.
great night. Thank you so much.
Night.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Good evening, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye.